Hello everyone, and welcome to another game of World of Warships. Today it's me playing, and I'm in the Fiji, a tier 7 British cruiser. I'm on the map Haven in a 4-point domination game. So it's a tier 7 battle with very few tier 7s, so lovely matchmaking. There is a carrier, but carrier is only tier 6, and as we have already seen that being in a cruiser means absolutely nothing, and the planes just don't care. So I mean, I've shot down 2, I suppose, but that carrier is continuing on his merry way. At least I somehow discouraged him from attacking my destroyer. Or at least that's what I'd like to believe. Maybe it just got bored. Anyway, so enemy destroyer is spotted. It looks like enemy destroyer decided not to go into B. And my division mate is slowly sailing in there, it looks like, so there is that. Now, the Whiskowicha was coming this way, so I'm using Hydro, because I expected he might be torping this way, but not just that, he's actually charging this. Now, I'm not sure in which world you believe that it's a good idea to charge a cruiser that's hydroing you in your destroyer. But, you know, I mean, I'll take this gift, this gracious gift. Now, you see, I mean, obviously at 3 kilometers torps can be very scary, but considering that I'm using Hydro, there is a very high chance that I'm going to dodge those, and smoke does nothing against my Hydro. Like, when he was Hydroed, he was still behind his island. Why he was so aggressively sailing on our side, I don't know in the first place. Like, it would have made much more sense once he passed through this treasure to just sail north towards his own force inside the sea camp. He could have taken this camp, and there was not much we could have done. I mean, carrier could have tried, but, you know, with smoke would have been fine. But instead he not only decided to go an aggressive course, he decided to continue once he was high. Well, anyway. Good for us, bad for them. So, anyway, the enemy team, no, it doesn't look like the enemy team has a radar. So, for some reason Viper was unable to take the B cap just now, but I mean, it looks like the enemy cruisers might be to blame. Because, you know, they are just charging into the B cap. Now, being a cruiser and going into the cap right early in the battle, in the open, is usually a very easy way to just die. And considering the massive fleet we have here, you'd expect those guys to be utterly devastated. But instead, they are basically just capping and, you know, not really getting interrupted. Now, meanwhile, Viper has decided to take the sea cap, which is obviously a wise choice because this cap is entirely empty. There is an enemy force up here in the north that might just decide to sail through the sea cap, but I suppose they're just going around. Of course, that's the more likely scenario in most cases. So anyway, the enemy is just casually camping B. Those cruisers seem to be doing quite fine, and the New Orleans took a little bit of a beating, I suppose, but you know, there are like 6 ships around here on this side, and the 3 cruisers very close in the open just looked at camp. Well, okay. So, we're still 1 ship ahead, so there is that. The enemy flanking force is starting to arrive here though, so let's see if we can't sink that Emil. Now, of course, I have to be careful. I'm in a Fiji, I'm in a rather squishy ship. There is 30 seconds left until I can have my smoke ready, and there are quite a few enemies who could be shooting me. So, I just couldn't resist like that broadside Emil. I would really love to sink that New Orleans, but probably not going to happen right now. The island just is a tiny bit too high there. Anyway, broadside Emil, the Emil can't even, you know, escape, because there's an island that stops his turning, and he probably doesn't want to turn more towards us. So I'm keeping also an eye on the Sinop. For some reason, the Sinop decides to charge into an overwhelming force, because I've noticed that these days everybody seems to be going crazy. Maybe it's all of the self-isolation, maybe people just need a place to vent this insanity, I don't know. So, I've decided to deploy my smoke here because, you know, At some point the enemy will devastate me, otherwise the email still around, still broadside now, beach. I mean, I'm not getting the best hits myself, I suppose. Maybe everybody else is unlucky, but I have a slight feeling that people just, well, they don't care about the broadside beach cruiser, it looks like. Where are those shares gone? Well, anyway. So, finally the Emil should be going down. There you go. Yay! So we are doing pretty fine on ships. Oh, broadside cruiser, barely moving. Oh, this is going to be juice. Well, or maybe not. But look, 3 pence. I mean, I'll take it. Maybe I should have. I'm just slightly higher. And two non-pens and 2. I mean, I guess he might be slightly angled here. But you know, I'm just mostly confused by this. So I've decided to leave my smoke screen here because there are torpedoes incoming. And I'm currently not detected, so that's lovely. Oh, I sincerely hope that the Dallas is going to dodge those. So, not looking too bad, but you see the enemy now has retaken the sea cap because the enemy is actually moving forward. Our team is still blobbing there, has showing no indication that they're going to move at any time against anything. And that's kind of infuriating me, so I decided, you know what, let's try to take this. Now there are some risk involved in what I'm doing, so it might not be the wisest choice, generally speaking. Oh look, we are going to see that cruiser again, and 5 non-pens. So I'm trying to aim a little bit higher now, and that's, well, still a non-pen. If you're trying to go through the upper belt on a cruiser in like 6 kilometers, that's a sad word. So you see, I'm getting wrecked here because the New Orleans can technically shoot me. The Congo, I try to keep an island between me and the Congo, but there is also another Congo. So, and there was the carrier that also is keeping me spotted, which is a problem. Now I've managed to drop in concealment again. I have a smoke ready, but I could have easily been devastated here, and I nearly am getting devastated here. So I probably should have taken this a lot more careful.
Smoke screen set.
And what did I make this cruiser? There you see that's what I was waiting for all this time. And I'm down 141 net then. Okay, I'm getting rather... I mean, I've gotten unlucky, I feel like, with my shots against the enemy cruiser, but the enemy team is getting unlucky against me as well. So, there was some luck on my side. Because, let's just face it, I could have easily, and maybe should have been sunk with that reckless maneuver I pulled. Probably shouldn't have necessarily pushed in there like this, but the thing is, you know... I mean, we are doing fine on ships, but cap-wise we are still lagging behind, and it's like... See, the enemy team is pushing towards the D-cap, and my team is not even trying to defend. They are all just sailing away. Like, we have the superior number of ships, and they still don't... Like, if I hadn't taken this B-cap, then the B-cap would still be in the enemy hands, and the friendly team would still be sailing around here, and then we would lose the entire map despite having a nice ship lead. Anyway, most importantly, I got another heal ready, so I'm no longer sinking if somebody spills a bottle of water, which is probably good news. Bad news is, you know, the enemy is still pushing towards D and still nobody cares. Now, you could argue that considering our ship lead, we are most likely going to have this anyway, but I don't know. I mean, we've all seen how quickly those things can turn, especially like if your team is just refusing to fight. The York is low health, the New York is low health. I mean, the Ranger is finally sailing away, so he'd probably not be getting caught. I don't know, there are quite a few low health ships around, so we will see. Obviously, my plan is to defend the B-cap. Meanwhile, Viper is going to try to take the A-cap, because we can pull at least the points in our favor. I mean, we do have more points now, but that's just because of the ship lead. if they would equalize on ships, they would overtake us quite quickly. And, well, having more camps is also nice here. So, I'm carefully approaching here. I've got my hydro running. It might help if somebody sneaks up very close to this island. My smoke is almost ready. Unfortunately, I don't actually have any spotting, and the planes are incoming. I have my smoke. Probably should have deployed my smoke right now, to be honest. It would make an awful lot of sense. I don't need to do my own spotting here, I believe. So, nice salvo in the New Orleans, and there is a citadel. There is my could. Well, then again, I was so close that they would have probably been spotted anyway if I'd deployed my. So there is that, I suppose.
Smoke screen set.
But, you know, we've unleashed the Kraken, and that's lovely. And by now, even I believe that we are going to win. Even the cynical side in me is now convinced that we are going to win this, because, you know, they scrambled with the ships. And I mean, they are probably retaking the decap, but, well, taking the decap. But, you know, it probably doesn't matter. So, got some troops on the way, and got some ships that I can potentially shoot here. And yeah, if Friedrich is probably getting so close that I'm going to get detected if I shoot. Then again, maybe he can't see me because of the island, and my vision is once again gone because nobody is here to engage those or spot those or whatever. Hey, I mean, the New York actually escaped. Interesting. So, my troops didn't hit anything. She's sad. The enemy is still capping. I technically have 40 seconds of smoke left, but I have absolutely no spotting. So, Nagato, Bayern, and so on are just... Oh, I'm getting hydroed. Well, it looks like they are going to charge me here. Ah, I wasn't able to shoot that Friedrich there. I was hoping I could get some shots into the low health ship and maybe sink him, but you know. So, Devonshire, despite hydro, it looks like he was incapable of dodging those torps, so that's 2 more lovely hits, and I'll gladly take this damage, you know. So, let's see, let's give us a little bit of an overview. Obviously we lost vision again. Why would we have vision on the only remaining ships? Nobody's sailing their direction.
Victory is in sight.
Well, okay, maybe they are now. So, also let's speed this up, by the way. I mean, yeah, at this point, Viper just sank the carrier, and the last remaining enemies are getting pummeled quite heavily. Only the Devonshire remains. Yeah, this is a victory. Just gonna find out if... Well, but fun fact is they still got the same amount of capstones than we do right now. So here we are with the results. I hope you enjoyed that. I thought this was a fun battle, and I probably made a mistake there charging into the cap in the middle of the game where I lost most of my health. But it worked out with a little bit of luck, so there is that. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching this, and I'll see you guys next time.